Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Learning CAD Unit 1 Part E. Today we're going to be creating our first features, which basically means we're going to be creating our first 3D geometry. Now remember, our two-step plan involved drawing into 2D, which we did in the last video with the sketch tool, and number 2, pushing into 3D, which is what we're going to be doing today with the features tab and some specific features we'll talk about. So with that, I'm going to load into SolidWorks. I already have a new part brought up. My planes are on, so I've gone to the eye and I've made sure that my top right checkbox is checked. And the first thing I'm going to do just for this exercise is we're going to do a little sketching. I'm going to go to Sketch Tool bar and then Sketch, and then it's going to ask you what plane do you want to make your 2D drawing on. I'm just going to pick one. It doesn't really matter, and I'll pick the top. First, let's make a rectangle. And click once and then click twice to put the other corner, and that'll be good for now. So we'll click the check mark and we are done with this sketch, so we're going to click exit sketch. Now we're going to select our sketch, so click it, just left click it, and then go to the features toolbar. This is the feature tree, this is the features toolbar. And we're going to click on Extruded Boss Base. And that's basically the most simple kind of feature you can make. It's just extrudes your 3D or 2D geometry into 3D in a straight line. So once I click on Extrude Boss and Base, it extrudes our sketch into 3D however much we put in here. So we could say 10 or 35 or 100, and it'll go really high. Let's make it 20. There are some more options in this drop down for being more specific about how you want your extrude to be, but for now we'll just use blind, which basically just means make it go this distance. I don't really care about anything else. This looks good to me, so let's press check mark, and we'll be done with the feature. So as you can see now in the feature tree on the left hand side, we have a new entry here. Our Boss extrude that we just made has appeared. And then if you click this little drop down, you can see that our sketch has kind of been tucked into the Boss extrude feature. Now, if we wanted to, say I wanted to make the dimensions of the square bigger in a kind of length and width way. To do that, we would edit the sketch. So I'd right click Boss Extrude and click on this second button over here, Edit Sketch. See, now we're back in the sketch, and we could say we could maybe put a dimension on one of these lines. Press Enter, and then I'll press check mark, and then I will exit the sketch. However, say we wanted to edit the height. Say we think this isn't tall enough. For that, we'd actually go to this option on the left here, top left, Edit Feature. So just to clarify, that's Edit Feature to edit the parameters of the extrusion, and Edit Sketch to edit the dimensions of the sketch itself. So we could go here and we could say, oh no, this is actually not high enough. It needs to be 25. So that's all well and good. Let's learn another feature. We're gonna make a second sketch. And so here's the cool thing: you don't actually just need to sketch on planes. You can actually sketch on faces that you create. So see how we've created this face, right? We can actually just sketch on top of that face. That's what we're gonna do right now. So I'm sketching on that face. I'm gonna kind of bring my view over here so that we're a little bit more in line with what we're trying to sketch. Now let's make a circle. So this circle tool up here in the sketching menu. And we'll just put a nice little quaint circle somewhere. You can make it as big as you're feeling today. That'll be good. We'll click the little check mark, and then we will exit the sketch. So now we're going to do the same procedure that we did before, but we're going to use a different kind of feature. So we're going to make sure that we're selected, our sketch 4 is selected. We're going to click on Features, and now we're going to try Extruded Cut, which is basically the same thing as an Extruded Boss base, but the cut cuts away instead of adding material. So it removes material rather than adding. So we're going to do Extruded Cut. And you can see our arrow is kind of pointing down into the piece. And same deal, we can make it go as little or as far as we want to. 5 millimeters or maybe 100. Oop. Let's try 20, that looked good. And then once you're all right with that, click the check mark. And now you can see we have created a nice little hole in our part. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, the last one I want to show you today is a revolve. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on right click the cut extrude and delete it, just kind of get it out of our way. And we're also going to click on the Boss Extrude 2 and right click and then go down to delete. And see, notice that when we delete the features, the sketches don't necessarily go away because those are their own thing. Right, we can also delete sketch 4. So we can right click sketch 4, go to delete. And so we just have this original sketch that we made. So now we're going to select our sketch 3. Go make sure we're on the features tab and then click on Revolved Boss and Base. What Revolved Boss and Base is going to do is create a revolved feature. So basically, instead of drawing in 2D and pushing into 3D in a straight line, we're going to draw in 2D and push into 3D in a revolved path around an axis or around a line. So basically, the one thing that we needed saying is we need an axis of revolution. Where do I rotate this around? We'll just click one of these lines, and all of a sudden now we have our square shape, but it's revolved around that line. Here we can make it, these options are self-explanatory. You could make it go, like 180. You can make it go halfway or 3/4 of the way or the whole way. Lovely. And it's also worth knowing that there is just how there was a kind of cutting equivalent of the extruded base, right? So the extruded cut does the same thing as the extruded boss base, but it just removes material. There's also a revolved cut, which is like the equivalent of the revolved boss base. Okay, so this has been an introduction to features. You're now done with Unit 1. You're getting the hang of things, and we're doing great. So thank you very much.